Gabby Rivera's America Chavez run, I think everybody can agree that it was one of the worst. It was definitely the worst comic book of 2017. But I think we can also agree that it might actually be the worst comic book of all time, especially comic book run. There was no redeeming qualities of it. We all know why it was written. America Chavez was supposed to be a beacon for LGBTQ females to rally around and to say, hey, look, this is a character that's written for us and by us. And it failed at even that. But the biggest implication of it is that, quite frankly, nothing that Gabby Rivera put down and none of the new lore that she created matters. It doesn't at all. And I think it speaks actually more to Marvel editorial than it does to Gabby Rivera herself. The problem with this is that Marvel, so there's supposed to be a greater continuity. One of the great things about comic books and these comic book worlds is that Earth 616, whatever the hell they call it in DC, which I totally forgot, it's not Earth Prime, right? But all these worlds are supposed to be in continuity with each other. Hawkeye exists in the same world as Spider-Man, in the same world as Daredevil. Spider-Man and Daredevil are in the same city together at the same time. Obviously, they will interact, and their storylines should theoretically cross over at certain points. That was actually the point of crossovers. So, when we have a story like America Chavez, where everything is kind of written out of continuity, and yet we're told that it's supposed to be in continuity, but then nobody else cares enough about it that they ever bring it up again, nothing matters. So this is what Marvel does, and Marvel does this kind of frequently. It seems like all of their authors are writing their own Elseworld stories, and that none of them are in continuity with each other, unless it has to be. For instance, Venomverse was supposed to be a huge earth-shattering event, and nobody ever brings up the Poisoned again. Nobody ever brings anything else up. It's like it never existed, even though it happened on Earth 616. So we have these issues, and what's supposed to happen with intellectual properties is these companies are supposed to put forth lore Bibles. And what these Bibles do is they have commandments, obviously keeping in the theme, and they tell the authors and the artists what they should do, what they shouldn't do, things that are off base, things that they can do, what they can play around with. And these Bibles are supposed to be ever growing. They're always supposed to continue to grow because obviously authors and artists are doing their own things with everything, and they're constantly creating new things. And the idea of the editors is that the editors are supposed to be the ones who are aware of all the lore that's occurring, and they are the ones who are going to tell the authors, no, you can't do this because this is happening, or hey, we have this happening over here. Why don't you just throw in a line about it and we'll put the little bubble here. See Daredevil 612 for more information, stuff like that. Because in the end, that's how you get people interested in books they otherwise might not buy. But Marvel fails at even that. They can't do that because in the end, the editors, and my secret belief is that the editors don't do anything. They're all friends with each other. They all know each other. They all know that they're not getting fired, which I think is the biggest thing. And they don't do anything. They don't handle lore. They don't do it. So when you have something like America Chavez, which was supposed to be the next big thing for LGBTQ females, and it failed in that market, you end up with issues like Sotomayor University. What was the consequence of having it in Earth 616? Has anyone ever brought up Sotomayor University again? And the answer is no. Someone like Miles Morales should actually be at Sotomayor University, or he should be contemplating going to Sotomayor University. And yet nobody cares. Why? Because Gabby Rivera did not lay any groundwork. She just ran with it. She only put it in there because she wanted to name drop Sotomayor, because she wanted a powerful woman of color in her book, and she wanted to try to get news media attention from having her in there, and nobody really cares. And that's the problem. It's like Jordan White is working completely off and on his own, in his own little bubble. Sana Amanat is doing God knows what with Miss Marvel, and nobody cares about what's actually happening. And that's going to be at least one of the downfalls of Marvel Comics, because in the end, nothing matters. The stories that you read do not have consequences outside of the stories, and sometimes not even within the stories. So therefore, you can't be drawn into what you're reading, and nothing matters. Imagine spending, how many issues did America Chavez go? I believe 11 or 12 at $4 each. Imagine spending more than $40 on America Chavez. And what do you have? What do you have to show for it? Nothing. Because nothing mattered. Anyway, it's just something that's really frustrating me. DC at least does it slightly better. Say what you will about No Justice. No Justice sucked, but at least it had consequences that the Justice League books are dealing with now. But Marvel just completely just goes by the wayside with this. They just really just don't care. Let me know what you guys think. Like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me at Trajan Channel on Twitter. I'll catch you guys later.